How you doing? It's your boy Brogi Naric, back again with another episode of TV Aftermath. And I'm going to be giving my review of Amazon Prime's Invincible, which recently premiered. They dropped the first 3 episodes, and I'll be going over those. And before I get into it, don't forget to give this video a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. We're still growing, had a bunch of recent growth. Appreciate all the recent subscribers. Thanks for joining. And we're still growing, so thanks for doing that. So the Invincible show on Amazon Prime is based on the popular independent Image Comics comic called Invincible, which was created by Robert Kirkman, who also did The Walking Dead. It's created by Robert Kirkman and Corey Walker. And they also credit Ryan Ottley, because Ryan Ottley, he didn't start drawing the book, but he became like the main designer for like the majority of the book. I think the book kind of finished a couple of years ago. They might have some spin-offs going, but it's been around for damn near 20 years. It's very popular, and I'm glad that the series is finally getting more mainstream notice. I remember they were talking about doing this as like a live action movie, but you know, times have changed, the whole streaming stuff. Streaming companies need content. And I do love that Amazon Prime is picking a lot of the good independent stuff that's not necessarily Marvel or DC, but also picking some of the more darker stuff as well. Because Invincible, for those who don't know, Invincible focuses on this teenager named Mark Grayson. The best way I describe it is like, imagine if Peter Parker was the son of Superman, and then he eventually gets his powers and decides to be, continues to be a superhero. It's kind of like that. Mark Grayson's a young teen. His dad is the superhero called Omni-Man, who's kind of like Superman, and he's waiting for his powers to come in. Once he gets them, he follows in his father's footsteps and becomes this young teenage superhero who's being trained by his dad and learning the ropes of being a superhero. And as you see in the show, something happens involved. I'm not going to do spoilers until a little bit later in the video, but something happens, and it's a bit of a murder mystery going on that he eventually has to deal with, and it's a big deal. This series is like a reworking of the book, because the book dropped, I think, in like 2003, 2004 maybe, and Kirkman has allowed this production, which is being produced. I forget who else is producing it, but I know Seth Rogen's company is involved. I'm assuming it's the same people that did that does The Boys. That's also producing it, which works because they both. The Boys is definitely way more darker than Invincible, but Invincible does stride the line between humorous, like superhero parody, but then it also gets pretty dark and violent at times. And I would say the animation strides that balance very well. The animation is a lot better than I was expecting it to be, because looking at some of the trailers, I was like, okay, it looks fine, but when I actually see it, the full show, the animation is great. The designs are always really good, but that's the fluidity, the amount of time and effort they put into this. It doesn't look cheap. They definitely put good money into this, and yeah, it's really good. I haven't finished Invincible, but I know a good amount of the earlier run, and it's 8 episodes this season, and they're kind of running through the first, like, damn near the first 4 volumes. I think by the end of this, they're going to be through like at least the first 6 volumes of the story by the end of this, the way how it's kind of mixing and matching certain things. But as I was saying, this book was dropped in the early 2000s, and times have changed a little bit, and I could see Kirkman is kind of changing certain things a little bit. Like, he's keeping characters, but he's changing certain characters' appearances. Like, you have the character Amber, who was a blonde-haired white girl in the comic, but in the show she's a black woman, or a black teenager. His friend Will is gay in this version, as opposed to the comics, where he was, in a way, I feel like the boyfriend kind of looks. I don't know what he looked like in the comics, but the boyfriend in the show looks like what Will kind of looked like in the comics, but bigger. And he also kind of acts like Will, because Will was kind of like a dude bro, kind of dumb guy. Wasn't necessarily a jock, but he was kind of a dude bro. And like, they changed Will to a gay guy, which was fine. and other minor things like that, like certain characters who weren't black or people of color, non-whites are now different. Like say Rex is brown as opposed to him being in the comic, and sometimes people complain about that, but I think it's handled well in this and it works. So kudos to them for doing that. This show stars Steven Yeun as the main character, Invincible, and he's a great actor, but he's also a really good voice actor, and I like that he's in this role. And that reminds me of one of the things I tend to forget about Invincible is that he is an Asian superhero. I tend to forget that. I guess because it's not like the main focus of the character, but like his mom is Asian, who's Debbie, who's played by Sandra Oh in the show, and his dad is an alien, but he's looks like a white guy. So yeah, I tend to forget that he is an Asian superhero, so that's cool. But Invincible, he's super strong, super kind of fast, indestructible to a degree. He's very much like Spider-Man. He can take a lot of punishment, but he can also still get bloodied if he fights someone strong enough. And yeah, Mark gets his ass kicked a lot in this, before he gets his powers and while he has his powers. And his action sequences are very good. Non-spoilers, still going non-spoilers here. The jokes are funny. There's some good jokes in this. The cast in general is insane. Like, look at the amount of big names that are attached to this. That I've never seen this many big names attached to an animated property. I like that the animated properties are being treated more seriously. A lot of big name actors are willing to be involved in a project like this, so that's awesome. You got J.K. Simmons, Zazie Beetz, Mahershala Ali, John Hamm, Mark Hamill. There's some other big names. Well, the fact that Mahershala Ali is in this is kind of insane to me. To continue with non-spoilers, is it worth watching? Yes, it is. It's really good. If you like adult animation, if you like superhero stuff, if you like humor, if you like shock value, I guess, to a degree, check it out. It's worth your time. It breezes by. Each episode's around 30 minutes, so it's like a regular, cartoon you're watching. Yeah, definitely check it out. If I had to give these 3 episodes a grade right now, I'd give them an A. And I know how most of the story is going to go, so it's going to be really good by the end of it. So yeah, check it out. Those are my non-spoiler thoughts about Invincible, the first 3 episodes on Prime. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. But now I'm going to get into a little bit of spoilers. So J.K. Simmons as Omni-Man is perfect casting. He is perfect for this role. When they announced that he was playing Omni-Man, I was like, you fucking nailed it. He does great in this role. Now, the big thing that happened in episode 1, well, the opening with the Guardians of the Globe fighting the Mauler twins, that shit was awesome. I like that fight sequence with the team. The Guardians of the Globe being a Justice League parody. Great. And the bit at the end where we see Omni-Man killing them. That does happen in the book, but from what I remember, you don't see him. There's no big fight between him and the Guardians. It's more like he just blindsides them, and then they're all dead, and then you see the reveal of him in the blood, and it was Omni-Man. In this, he doesn't quite do that, and he actually has this long, drag-out fight with them, and I like that because it makes the Guardians seem more like an actual threat because they do beat the shit out of him. And I think it also doesn't make Omni-Man too powerful because in the comics, the Viltrumites, they are super powerful. And like I said, in the comic, he straight murders them in cold blood and they don't even have time to react. So I think they did that also to make it more believable for Mark to be able to kind of stand his ground against them when they, spoilers, eventually fight towards the end of this. I don't know when that's going to happen. Is it Jillian Jacobs as Adam Eve, Britta from Community. She's awesome. I don't remember the guy's name who does Rexplode, but Rexplode was, I rewatched these episodes twice. Rexplode was really funny. He's annoying. He's annoying in the comics too, but that guy that does his voice, he's really funny, and he has some good moments, especially that moment when Monster Girl beats his ass. That shit was hilarious. Yeah, so the Flexians, that's the thing in the book. That's the thing that happens a lot in the book. Is there's various alien invasions, and the Flexians are one of the ones that occur a lot. That stuff was great, especially when Omni-Man flies through the portal and just fucks up the entire planet. And I believe in the book he does go through the portal, but it's more like it's a bit more heroic, where he's trapped. He doesn't have his powers, and it takes him like 8 months to get back. In this, he has his powers, and he just straight up destroys them. He's like, look, Earth is not for you to conquer. It's mine. And he just beats the hell out of that whole planet. That shit was cool. Yeah, that was dark. Omni-Man is not to be fucked with. What's his name? Zachary Quinto does Robot. Now, I haven't read all of the book, but I know Robot is on some bullshit. And we do see hints of that at the moment towards the end of the 3rd episode when Robot helps break out the Mauler twins. Yeah, I didn't quite see that. If that happened in the book, I don't remember. So when it was like, oh, it is Robot, I was like, okay, that makes sense. I know he gets into more crazy shit as the book goes on. Seth Rogen as Alan the Alien was cool. They kind of changed his. Well, they didn't reveal his thing. It's a little bit different from what I remember it, but like him running into Invincible and leaving. There's more to Alan the Alien. We'll be seeing him more. He's a fun character. He's a really fun character. And I like all the it's not as many superhero parody jokes in this as there was in the actual comic. I think that's mainly because a lot of that's been done so much, and it seems like they've distilled all of that down to just like the really, really good bits, like Damien Darkblood and some of the other ones that they had in the show. So yeah, it's definitely, for me right now, it's hitting on all cylinders. This is a pleasant surprise by Amazon. Can't wait to see the next episode. And of course, I'm going to do a full season spoiler review when it's done. But until then, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Peace.